Hello, dear friends. Today I have got my hands on yet another historic issue of Vogue magazine. The first Vogue whispered flip-through video I did seemed quite popular in the context of my channel, and that was an issue from May 1980. Today's issue is from September 1985, so 5 years later. Something that you may see immediately is that the Vogue 1980 issue was the standard size you'd expect of a regular magazine. This is absolutely massive. It's one of the biggest magazines I've ever seen. When it first came, I ordered it online. When it came through my door, I originally thought it was a diary I'd bought when it was inside its packaging. It's absolutely massive. So in this issue of Vogue we have, which is its best and biggest ever of course, over 100 pages of decisive style and fashion, new beauty colours, Vogue Men, Autumn and Winter Report collections. I love looking through magazines like this because it just gives you such a unique perspective on a time and a place in time through society and culture and fashion. It's just something that you won't necessarily find anywhere else. We have the Revlon advert and GM Franco Ferret. Oh, that's nice. I love that. I would totally rock that today. So we have the Caroline Charles, all of these brands that I'm not familiar with. Do they exist to this day? I don't know. So we've got a number of things. In the cover we have the Tool Hat Story, a black and pink satin to order satin jacket about 1020, both by Montana. And I love how you get the shop and postcode and everything there to go and physically visit. More dash than cash, the new sweater girls. Key looks key to your budget. Patterns, the key to making key looks for yourself. Designing a woman, Donna Karan. Vogue's Spy, Vogue's Eye View, Paris Couture collections, international characters, prima donnas, and much, much more. So something I notice already is that you can see the transition to more. Oh, that's lovely as well. These I'm gonna have to look up some retro stores if I can find some of these designs. They look great. So here we have one thing we noticed in the previous episode with May 1980 was its About Town editorials were very much focused on high society, the aristocracy and royalty, ministers of parliament, etc., not celebrities. And it looks like we're still not quite at that time where we followed celebrities around, because this is Princess Caroline of Monaco launching the Sea Goddess in a traditional manner, a 60-cabin luxury liner. And then we have pictures here of individuals at the events such as Royal Ascot, the Queen and the Queen Mother and Princess Margaret. There they are. We have people such as the Archbishop of Canterbury and Duchess of Gloucester and lots of royalty. Clinique still going strong today, of course. Estee Lauder. Lancome. The Nightly facelift. It's interesting, isn't it? I wonder how different these, because they're still promising the same things that these type of products are promising to this day. How much advancement has there been, really? That is such an 80s picture. Karl Lagerfeld perfume. Look at that bottle. It looks amazing. Looks like a whiskey. So we've got some figures in the 20th century in photographs and in action. So even if your home simply groans with glossy tomes on our dear old statelies, you would nevertheless be well advised to turn to Gervais Jackson's stops. He's the National Trust's architectural advisor. There are nice line in detail such as this languorous chair leg, and takes us along faded corridors riddled with gilt, as in gilt gold. Here we have the photographers in the northeast of England. It's not a pretty sight. I like that, just very judgmental. Killip and Smith's photographs have a good bash at getting a beaten-up society into focus. And drums, sweat, loincloths, and very little else. The life of the drummers of Kodo has to be one of absolute discipline. Their rhythms are nature's on their island. This is called Sado. In the Sea of Japan's, they thunder on great drums and drown the surf and run 20 miles before attempting a beat at Queen Elizabeth Hall on September the 3rd to the 15th. So this is basically events, isn't it? Going to see exhibitions, a cartoonist, some post-war or some war propaganda art. I'm still very much in thrall of this Lagerfeld perfume advert. That is absolutely iconic. Gabby Aegis has not looked back since becoming the choreographer in residence of Riverside Studios 1983 at the Almeida Theatre. Again, still going strong to this day. Some cool stones with stories to tell. And Joseph Aldesign Diagliev with a penchant for black shows the very stylish and new furniture, lights and bric-a-brac of a young Matthew Hilton. Sheeny with metals. Interesting. There's something almost IKEA-esque about that, which I'm sure will land me in a lot of trouble, but I wonder if it's, calling on design of the past. Lovely minimalist Yves Saint Laurent. I like how they're just unashamedly French as well. They're using French language, which is great. Portrait of the George Rex woman, expert in easy chic, a light tweed jacket cut with largesse over a caviar print, wool blazer, black stove-piped trousers from the new winter collection of great furry coats, velvet-collared big jackets over small cowled jersey sweaters, back button narrow skirts, cuffed bags and tapered trousers, scarlet with black, navy with bottle green, a thread of new tapestry colour. Later there's another touch of brilliance and poetic dinner dressing in all romantic shades of black. George Rex meets George Sand. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Just a few items then for the George Rex woman. Regine. Looking very cool. We have more styles here. Yop. I think that's called Yop. I used to call it Jupe, but it's a Dutch fragrance. But it looks like it was actually here a fashion brand, which I didn't realise it was. Maybe they stopped doing clothes eventually and then just focused on fragrances. I used to enjoy that fragrance for men. That is super 80s, and so is that as well. Look at these. Not the most figure hugging. Kind of comes down like this. Interesting out silhouette. That's lovely. Looks very cozy. Is Billie Eilish a time traveller? That model looks a lot like her. Love this. Love this kind of PVC jacket number with the headscarf. So many great looks, and look at those shoulders. That's what I think of as well when we think of 80s. Look at that neckline with the kind of scarab. Here, this is quite a cool look. This oversized overcoat, trench coat with stripe polo neck. Massive lapels on a trench coat. Brilliantly 80s, I absolutely love it. What a picture. That's cool, Bill Blass, look at that. That's a lovely image there. Looks like something you'd expect of a movie. Anais, Le Plus Tendre de Parfum de Femme. That is one of the most retro looking adverts I've ever seen. It looks like I found it at the bottom of a pile of things from the 70s and let alone mid 80s. Super 80s again. You can hear me say super 80s a lot, I think. But I just think of, these suits, the power suits. These black and whites. Here's a Saint Laurent Vive Gauche, the shoulders, the berets, the high heels, the tights. Absolutely brilliant. Your gift, the perfect face palette. Visible difference from Elizabeth Arden. When you purchase the 60 milliliter of visible difference refining moisture cream complex, a slim mirrored compact, sensational makeup musts, and perfectly beautiful results. Excellent hair. A new cascade of autumn colours from Chanel. Here at Vogue notices there is still quite a lot of editorial content. It's interesting, over the course of 5 years we saw a lot of extensive editorial content and not as much advertisement, but now the balance is slowly dipping more in line with advertisements over editorial, but there's still an alright balance, I think. Country casuals. Lovely blue here. I'm not too sure about that silhouette there, but again, it's these concepts are clearly, in the 80s. It's not about figure hugging. I don't know about you. Do you think there is something in 80s style that is very much the feminine look is mimicking men? I suppose this is also an age of yuppie culture in the UK and England, where you had the greed is good mantra of coming from Wall Street, and it was all about finances and trading and high society, high flying. So I suppose in the fashion, to a degree, there's this thing of being a power player, and that reflecting in all styles of fashion. One thing they did do in the 80s was a sick collar. I wish we could get it. I want to rock massive collars to this day, but I just can't put it off anymore. Not that I could to begin with. There's a talent contest, a Vogue talent contest. Young minds showed an unusual degree of literary imagination in this year's Vogue talent contest. That's damning with faint praise. First place was awarded to Jennifer Wilson, 17, a schoolgirl whose fanciful poetic style is demonstrated in her account of Edith Sitwell. Shall we read a bit of it? Edith Sitwell is a skeleton. Always was. Her long paper hands make the sign of a crucifix, the symbol of another age. She looks in the stained mirror, and her thin, slivered lip curls in disdain. They caught a worm and put it in acid, slit its shriveled body in two like anchovy. They cut a hole in its diseased face, and there laid the worm to rest. Wow, okay. It's not exactly a comedy, but well done to Jennifer Wilson for winning the Vogue Awards talent contest in September 1985. Elnet. And the amazing thing about Elnet is it's retained that design to this very day on its spray cans. Keeping up with the ever-changing world of fashion is bad enough, but staying on top is even harder. If you're in the business of creating fashion like top hairstylist Raymond Camacho of New York, you have to use the finest tools available. The stylist's reputation is based on the originality and creativity of his basic cut, as well as on the products he uses to create volume, life and hold. Looks a bit like Oscar Isaac. Lots of similarities here. Autumn brings new ideas from the world's top fashion designers. Paris, Milan, New York, London, all present exciting new shapes and colours, each one looking for the right style to capture the mood of the moment. The hairstylist has to meet this challenge, often in the exposed glare of top international design shows. So fantastic gold. Check out that hairstyle there. Whoa, very windswept. Love it. There's Karl Lagerfeld, legend. The king, not as I remember him, but of course I only ever knew him at the tail end of his life. Here's a Karl Lagerfeld design. These great kind of voyeuristic, candid images to demonstrate. Basile. Lovely suit and a couple of suits there. Lovely hat and combo. The plaid and the check skirt and its tweed jacket. That seems to be a bit of a theme, doesn't it, of the time? Tweed, countryside, Eruno. Again, very high-waisted trousers, kind of plaid pattern. Power suit, power shoulders, tall beret. I mean, the fashion is so strong and distinct. Absolutely love it. Here we have some Asprey sport watches. £200 there for an Asprey gentleman's rolled gold and black steel quartz watch with a date in water-resistant case on a waterproof strap. Doesn't necessarily say the watch is waterproof, so I don't know what the point in having a waterproof strap is. Look at these miniature carriage clocks. I remember, I think my grandmother had one of those in her house. Maybe still does. Didn't realise they were that spenny. I don't know, they're probably not Asprey either. La Vie en Dior, ready to wear, knitwear. That's a lovely colour there. A classic tuxedo look there. More knitwear from Christian Dior. Nice colours that. Proper statement necklace there. And some lingerie. You can't quite see what the lingerie is there, quite a risque image. We had this in the 1980s issue as well. Places to go. So it actually straight up gives you the shops and their location for you to go into and pop and buy, which I suppose it may seem funny to see this in written form, but of course it is the direct replacement of the internet. It's the equivalent of typing in fashion houses near me on Google and being able to go to places. Lenox, America's most exclusive China, exclusively at reject China shops. Something doesn't quite add up here. More shopping destinations and Escada at Harrods, back to nature. Harrods takes to the country in pure new wool. Yes, there is very much a country theme here, isn't there? That is amazing. Absolutely love that. Give that to me right now. I really think we should bring back the cape. Completely unironically, but I'm not just talking like just a cape like this. I'm talking like full on Renaissance slash restoration slash Italian, bringing back full on embroidered fancy capes, real statement pieces. Here are some more very countryside knitwear, lovely colours. You can see a bit of this kind of colour scheme being popular today. Lovely little hat that. George Rec at Harrods, who we heard about earlier. So this is just a kind of mini editorial for Harrods, basically showing off their clothing that is available. Geiger there. Yes, there's something. You'd wear something like that today and it would look like you're trying to age yourself up. It's interesting how that kind of style is at the cutting edge of young fashion. These people look a little like flight attendants. They look like they're working for Fly Emirates or something. Sonia Reichel, but a very nice number. Lovely silhouette. How do you become a beauty therapist? Well, there's the Shaw College of Beauty Therapy. There's a presentation diploma course, of beauty therapy diploma course, and then you can cut out the advert and send a coupon in. I love when you used to have to do that, sending coupons that you found on adverts. Care for your hair, the way that we care for your hair. This looks like quite a modern image, actually. Vidal Sassoon. Beautiful, healthy looking hair is the Vidal Sassoon experience. One that you can enjoy at home. Lots of pages of Shop Hound, so you can see a real distinct move to the commercial over the years. Little Monty cut out here. Lots of people looking wistful, out to sea. Some epic knits there. I love those. I love that. Look at that. That's great. And that is something. The Squadra. That is something else. It's quite a powerful image here, isn't it? Quite stark images. No text here. Have we missed what this is? Have I skipped a page? Let's go back a bit. Oh, no we haven't. It's an advert for Giorgio Armani. Wow, that's quite iconic. No text, just images. Here is some a motor section. The Renault 25 Turbo. Look at those. Old school. So Giorgio Armani with some strong imagery here, strong looks. Yeah, of course it has Giorgio Armani there, I didn't notice that. Antiques. Don't think you get an antique section in today's Vogue. Patent metamorphic furniture. Admirers of English furniture either collect or condone with a slight sniff patent furniture, a term applied to the inventive and often ingenious furniture made between 1718 and 1830. Furniture that can extend out and turn into different things. Love that hairstyle. Designer face. Here's this. French porcelain. Pale new complexions with clearly defined lips and eyes, coloured lashes, heavy brows, seen at international ready-to-wear collections. Gaultier above makeup by Linda Mason of New York for Helena Rubinstein. Hair by Romain for Patrick Ellis of Paris. We've got here some neoclassics by Number 7. Guess jeans. It's interesting, I don't think of some of these brands going back as far in time as they do. Avon here. Some skincare products. We've got here Crisia. Again, I love the knits. I think if I were transported back to 1980, I'd be all about the knits. This is super high society of the 1980s. There's nothing like the sheer excitement and satisfaction of knowing you and your horse are going superbly together, having won the badminton horse trials in April and the team silver medal at the Olympic Games last year. Virginia Holgate knows this well. Super 80s hair there, style worth noting. Options of Austin Reed, Waterman. There's quite a little triangle design here that's pinned to the front. Pancaldi. I can almost smell the perfume in that image. Wow. Straight up highwayman. Jaeger. I mean, do you think that some of this strikes a tricky balance between costume and fashion? Because this straight up looks like a costume. It's a great costume, but if you think about the Wicked Lady of Hertfordshire, a video I had an ASMR history video on, you'd expect Catherine Ferrers to be wearing something like that. Here is a health update. Diet can help. PMT. Following a specific nutrition program for premenstrual tension, 36 overweight women, 10% above the recommended weight for height, lost an average of 8 pounds 8 ounces, and a further 14 who were obese lost an average of 13 pounds. This unexpected benefit was particularly welcomed as the women had failed several previous attempts at dieting. Nutritionist Marion Stewart of the Premenstrual Advisory Service believes that the body can right itself both in weight and in premenstrual symptoms if it's given a good balanced diet. The service devises an individual food plan from the answers to a questionnaire on diet, exercise, lifestyle, and premenstrual symptoms, and it recommends reductions in refined carbohydrates, biscuits, cakes, sugary drinks, dairy, produce, coffee, and tea, and an increase in leafy green vegetables and salads. Encourages more regular exercise, less smoking, prescribed supplements such as vitamin B6 and multivitamins. I mean, would this have been earth-shattering in the 1985 era to cut down on biscuits, cakes and sugary drinks and eat more vegetables and salads? I mean, it's not really, that's not really earth-shattering, is it? That's just eating well and avoiding sugar and fat. But there we are, each to their own. I have obviously got absolutely no authority whatsoever to comment on PMT, so I am reading that out for your benefit if it interests you. Moving on. Hiroko Kojino, exclusively at the feathers. And again, is that kind of costumey or not? One thing's for certain is that nobody's going to look drab or boring in the 80s for sure. The colour schemes and the silhouettes and the outfits I just absolutely love. Kaczynski had some very bling watches. Next. Wow, okay, so Next still is a popular high street store here in England and the UK. And yes, it was going strong back in the 80s as well. Look at that outfit there. Blouse is £17.99 and the trousers are £24.99. Very accessible pricing. I don't know actually, I haven't done the math, the inflation guide, but that duffel coat is £59.99 and this strapless dress is £64.99. They seem like quite good prices to me. Somebody in the comments might have to do a 1985 inflation calculator for us to compare what those prices will be today, so please, if you're up for it, let us know in the comments below. Here are some interiors, giving us a sense of what people's homes may have aspired to be like. Some of that's quite in keeping with some looks today. That is an epic hat, and I know it's supposed to be getting us to focus on a wristful of chains, and Spanish hat. The new sweater girl lends a boulevardier air to Spanish hat and a wristful of chains. How much is that hat? The velvet Spanish hat is about £55 at Sandra Phillips. Let's get ourselves a time machine and get that Spanish hat. Planet at most leading stores. Actually, some of this is giving me flashbacks to things that, you know, as a kid, maybe I was walking around with my mother and looking at a while back we asked women what new developments they'd like to see in towels. A towel that's less obvious to carry around, you suggested, so we came up with a new towel we call Freedom Stowaway. There you go. More suits. It does you can very much pick up a very distinct, consistent look here. Wow, look at this guy. Wow. That's a jawline. Jawline for days. Those sunglasses. He looks like an anime villain. Rubber-dubbed with a dash of pure Smirnoff. Excuse me. Alright, I thought it was implying for a minute there that you wash yourself in Smirnoff. What is that bath? That looks like something you'd find in like a rugby stadium. But she's attached a brush to a metronome. There we go, very clever. With her Smirnoff vodka sitting on the side. Some key looks here. You love the look at the moment, but except at peaks of passion, you simply can't fling £400 to the wind for a lichen-hued velvet dress. The answer: go over these pages. Winter's key statements are here in affordable and desirable form, down to the gloves, hat, shoes, and a jacket. Turn a jacket into a look. Have here an equestrian jacket. So you might not want to spend £400, but you can spend £256 on this jacket at Whistles. But here are alternatives. Keyed to your budget, a willowy, pleated, high-necked body dress, about £59. That is awesome. What a jumper, what a sweater. A cashmere wool, nylon cut straight to mid, carved with velvet collar. That's a lovely overcoat there. Lovely colours, camel and velvet. £99.50, reasonable price there. That's a very 80s male look. You can imagine this individual with their huge 80s brick mobile phone heading off to their office in the centre of London. Here's Anita Bruckner's new novel, Family and Friends, that explores the changing relationships in a group of characters linked by marriage. Altered images might be a subtitle. The following extract observes the flighty daughter on the loose, away from her family and former friends. So we have a little excerpt here. Betty is taken so easily to her vagabond Parisian life that one is tempted to think there is some validity in the theory of rootless cosmopolitanism which has been applied to her and her kind. Every morning she trips out of her one-room flat for milk and a roll and trips back again to make her breakfast. This is the only meal she has at home, for she cannot, of course, cook or housekeep, and in any event she has a passion for cafe, bars, restaurants. She would spend her day in them if she could, and frequently does. In the sharp air of that late November, it is Betty's delight to steal out in the early morning, buy the warm bread, and then steal back to bed, also warm, and lie there like a cat, dozing and stretching until about 11 o'clock. Well, there we are. There's not a lot of dramatic tension there, but I don't know, maybe we're supposed to see ourselves in Betty, just like I see myself in this awesome face makeup. Look at that. These United Colours of Benetton, who of course did some very iconic adverts over the years. That's great. Okay, we continue on. That's quite an excerpt. They're giving away a lot of that book for free here. Try before you buy. Here we go. It carries on. Why buy the novel? We can just pick it up in our Vogue. Here's Liberty. I of course read one of my earliest videos was of the history of Liberty, an iconic store in central London. If you've never been, I heartily recommend you go. A fantastic destination, even just for sightseeing in a way. I can imagine many bands rocking that kind of look. Looks like something the 1975 would wear. Vogue's college directory. So, wow, this is literally colleges. So education, resources: the Dawn Cragg School of Film and TV Makeup, Special Effects, Hair Design and Wig Making. That's cool. The Lane School of Beauty, Steiner Beauty School. London School of Makeup, Veronica Orr School of Beauty Therapy. There's a lot of competition vying for your attention. Le Petite Cuisine School of Cooking. For Hillrise Richmond, sorry, that's near where I work to this day actually, which is interesting. The Tante Marie School of Cookery turns an average cook into a cordon bleu professional. Yes, secretarial colleges, yes, they used to have these. So, speed writing, typing pool type training. Very patriarchal. Modelling school. Chiropody. Well, you could really get anything. Study at the American College in London and really go places like Atlanta and Los Angeles. The American College in London affords students the opportunity to earn a degree while transferring without any loss of academic credit between campuses in the exciting cities of Atlanta and Los Angeles. Interesting. I just love this whole thing of you just tick and send off an excerpt from a magazine. Of course, that's the way people would have to do it, but yeah. Sears, Selfridges. That's a lovely necklace there. 18-karat gold-plated handset jewellery. Pierre Cardin as well. Dressing with a difference. Revlon. Touch of the Jennifer Lawrence about that model. Have to skip a few pages to get this all into one video. I mean, I could break it up into multiple parts, but I feel it's one of those that could just be in one sitting, but it's massive. massive. I really did not expect this magazine to be as big as it was, but it's giving us a huge amount of visual joy, I feel, in the fashion of the time. All of these silhouettes, all of this jewellery, all of these materials. Lower there, bit of leatherware, and I'm loving all of these very arctic, cosy, chunky knits of the time. Gucci. Yes, again, you can see very much it's influenced. It's almost like the aristocratic male look for women. The kind of town and country male with the trilbies and the jackets and the suits. The glove look. It's a very powerful shape there. Again, all these powerful shoulders emulating physical power and presence. Lovely green. Some more watches here. Valentino. I love the male models in these magazines. They're so old school, like all American, chunky jaw. Love it. Well, that's an 80s going out outfit if ever I saw one. The shopping continues here on the left hand side. Look at that for a bag. Wow. This kind of masquerade, clowny kind of look I know was popular at the time as well. I don't know why. Got some individual adverts here as well. I like the amount of illustrations you see in adverts. Here we have the Etienne Aignier. Some more tweed. The unmistakable charm of particular good taste. What is this? Older men make better lovers. Good girls go to heaven, bad girls go everywhere. Our exclusive bone china boxes amusingly inscribed. Well, there you go. Send those to your loved ones. There's an essay here. So, it's an essay on essays. One of our few practicing essayists encourages the long-standing liaison between essay writing and journalism. More should be made, he believes, of the personal and anecdotal literary language in today's popular prints. And I think I touched on this in the previous episode when I was looking at the May 1980 edition too, how it's somewhat sad that this dense editorial content seems to be a thing of the past, this long-form essay style of writing. You can see why, we live in a very fast and natured society to this day where everything has to be packaged up and consumed in very small bites. And more's the pity, really, if you really want to invest in a magazine that's going to give you a lot of stimulating material to engage with, as well as, well, look at that outfit there, take a new look at Winsmore, that's a new look indeed. That's a kind of cross between air stewardess and royalty. What an amazing hat. Gianni Versace. Again, lovely prints. International repute. French classicism. That hair, look at that hair. We have almost like a tightly pinned back hair here in a really, really high bouffant style. She looks like a kind of punk iteration of a Renaissance painting. That's lovely. This is great. This is iconic. Dior's violet and black folie de grandeur. Yeah. Again, is this costume, is this fashion? It's straddling such a fine line for me. The satin coat cut on the grandest lines, vast collar sleeves with wide turned cuffs, the dress a precision cut satin bustier over curves of black velvet, fitted, gathered slightly over the hips. Chanel's diesel trench, black and white satin over velvet. Saint Laurent's perfectly biased black satin. These images are great. These are worth the price of admission alone. Very artistic images. love that. Really enjoyed that. International characters here. The hair, everything comes together so amazingly. Comme des Garçons. Bordeaux, Kawakubo's particular charms, a synthesis of east and west, a new youthful look that is little to do with bag lady and more comme de feel than comme des Garçons, points of contrast and contradiction in a triumphant, thoughtful and wearable collection. Can't believe that said bag lady. Lady's got a magpie on her head there. That's of course, standard issue in England in the 1980s. Everyone was assigned a magpie. You had to have one on your head. Magpie police will get you. Here we have Armani. Again, very powerful. You can certainly see a lot of these designs coming into play. Again, that's very costumey, isn't it? Like a kind of stagecoach driver look there. But a lot of these styles you can very much see pop stars of the day rocking them, can't you? Here we have Estee Lauder, photographed by David Montgomery. Here she is, the legend herself. Every mother should give her daughter the correct cleansing lotions. When she is older, she can always buy a new dress. She can't buy a new face. Wow. Wow, Estee. Mummy Jill. That's quite a statement. Men love red, apparently. This is my silk poppy dress, so I call it the wedding and reception silk. With my hat and veil, it's always correct and is perfect and comfortable at any time of the year. Wow, that is an intense poppy suit, isn't it? Italian prima donnas, look at that coat. Wow. Is that real fur? Yeah, mink. Oh dear. Yeah, that's not nice, is it? Proper mink fur jacket. Not nice. Cruel. Some things aren't best left in the past. But lovely colours. I love the employment of the hood here on the jacket. You know, I just love how some of the designs are so out there. They're just really, yes, they're playing with that idea of costume versus fashion, and they're really pushing the envelope as to what we can accept or not. I've got still like a whole magazine's worth of material to go through here. It's like wider than my thumb. Lovely purples here. That's great. It looks almost like sci-fi royalty. New York bandbox body. That hat is epic. And these hairstyles, I love how we've seen this hairstyle more than once. This kind of oasis palm tree upright look. This, of course, is the look from the cover. Montana's sculptural peony pink satin with a black and spiralling hat. Wow, these hairstyles. If anybody fancies going out and getting any of these, just take a screenshot of the image and then we'd love to see you rocking it. A new mould is Miyake's silver soft rubber strapless breastplate. Zipped. You could just go out on the night in a straight up piece of Spartan armour. I love it. Yeah, guys, let's just invest in a time machine and let's all head back to the 80s as quickly as we can, because there's these outfits are my spirit animal. I love them. I think I love every single one, even the ones that I'm not too sure about. I'd much rather wear than. I mean, look at this. What a great play on the knitwear there. It's just things that seem so alien. I mean, obviously some of these things have not stood the test of time, whatever these things on their heads are. They're basically snoods, aren't they? Christopher Chaplin, spotlighted here. Son of Charlie Chaplin, or a descendant of Charlie Chaplin. Neem Kazak. She plays Desdemona at Stratford later this month, and her mother played the part in the mid-50s at the Gate Theatre in Dublin. So seeing young people who were up and coming, I guess, at the time. Daniel Day-Lewis. Wow. Daniel Day-Lewis. How much had he done by then? This is interesting. The poet's son. So, of course, he's the son of Cecil Day-Lewis, the poet laureate. And he is appearing in a production of Room with a View with Maggie Smith, Denham Elliott, Simon Callum, Helena Bonham Carter, due for release early next year. Playing Nicholas Nickleby at the RSC Revival at Stratford in early December before transferring to Newcastle in the USA. So it's just talking about the role of he's playing in A Room with a View. I mean, this is basically a nepotism article, isn't it? Upstage, it's all young people who are the descendants of very famous people doing famous things. Here's Philip Stark, who sits like Patience on a monument, unsmiling, unshaving, meaty hands in upside-down prayer. Wow, did they get his permission to write about him like that? I'm sure he appreciated that. So this looks like a designer, designing tables and chairs. That's quite cool. A cool dining area. A big old narwhal tusk. Minimalist, a lot of minimalism. An advert for Croft. An article on wine. Some recipes. Licky pie from Cornwall, iced whortleberry pie, an individual pork pie, fruit pie, thatched house pie. The pie episode. Foreign foods. Christopher Matthew on foreign foods. Legend has it that dotted around the floor of the well-known chocolate factory are large bins full of the stuff which the employees are invited, even encouraged to reach for whenever they feel craving coming upon them, on the principle that they get so sick of the rich, sweet taste that they quickly lose their appetite for it, plus the temptation to snatch the odd bar off the production line. Borscht and Tears, Shogun, Taipan. Oh, look at this review. Tears sprang unbidden to the eyes in an even greater profusion at Taipan, thanks to a dish called General Tsing's chicken and peppers. What is more, my face turned the colour of a young claret. Sweat started from my brow, my hair stood on end, my tongue flailed around uncontrollably between gaping teeth, and my eyes bulged in their sockets. In fact, I began to feel like the subject of a Bateman cartoon, the man who didn't realise that the chilies in General Tsing's chicken and peppers are for decoration only and not meant to be eaten. A Moroccan journey here. Lovely images. Mud houses and the George's disease. Details of Berber pattern in mud walls. Lovely stuff. Morocco is easier to find pictures for than words. We need look no further than Delacroix for proof. His journal of 1832, usually a torrent fed by the things he has seen, dries a little south of Tangiers to a trickle of hasty notes for paintings, the colour of a sash, a tattoo between brown eyes, a blue-black horse washed down by a blue-black man. Wow, look at this for a trip. The Caribbean remains unrivaled, despite modern air travel having brought many more distant places comfortably within reach. No other group of tropical islands can offer the visitors such a variety of landscape. I mean, the Caribbean is quite far away. Where else are they talking about? Here you have some adverts for hotels. We're in our travel element here. Here's an advert for the Bahamas. Lose yourself in the tranquility of the beautiful family islands with exotic names like the Abacos, Eleuthera, Andros, and the Exumas. World-famous Bahamian folk artist Amos Ferguson. His work brims with a living colour, bright skies, Bahamian flora and fauna. I love this advert just no disrespect to whoever put this advert together, but it does look a little bit like a school project. Just looks like they found different things in magazines and just slapped them on. In the 16th century, Spanish explorers came to Florida in the search of the fountain of eternal youth. Recently, millions of people have done the same. So this is a travel piece on Florida, on the trail of the unexpected. Palm Beach County. I wonder if their experience would be different today. Most likely. But look at this. How often do you see this in a fashion magazine today? This is just absolutely rich with content, travel notes. The address book. Oh, this address book is cosmetic surgery, antiques, beauty, all the essentials, hand knitting. Some restaurants. What's interesting is that these articles, like this is continuing from page 395, so it's interesting. Situations vacant. What? Intelligent girl, finishing school leaver, non-smoker, with an interest for a responsible and challenging position to train as a tutor for photographic training academy. Okay. Adult introductions. For exciting new dates with compatible eligible partners, business and professional, opposite sex. Contact intro dating. Make friends worldwide. Psychics, hypnotherapists, do not despair. International clairvoyant, psychometrist and tarot expert. Personal consultations £25. Postal readings from £10. Lonely. Datalink offers local computer friendships. Local computer friendships, if only they knew what was to come. It's quite sinister looking images here. From the land comes the cloth, Harris tweed. Lovely image there. Oh wow, this is some serious tweed. Look at that, the heavily waxed slick back look. Crombie by Crombie. Liberty Wool. He's happy. I'm happy for him. But again, look at these knits. That knit is lovely. I'd love that. I would snap that up today if I saw it. Not too sure about the big old suits and these massive overcoats. Is that Antonio Banderas? Some more men's looks here. Yeah, it's all about the baggy, isn't it? All very, very baggy suits. Huge, hanging off, ruffled up looks. All bunched up in the middle, hanging off. Wow. These looks are intense. Check out the, like, what are those? Look at those shoes. Red suede lace up Doc Martens songs by Johnny Mook, £32. Check it out. Lovely scarf. I mean, these massive jackets are probably these massive coats are probably quite good for me and my body shape at the moment. Going to hide a multitude of sins. That's quite a modern looking image though, that one there, that's quite cool. The Big Mac. Big Mac coats. My shoulders are often too broad to suit big overcoats and Macintoshes, which is a shame. I've always liked them, but I've never really been able to pull them off. And we wrap up with these Manolo Blahnik and Ralph Lauren pumps and loafers. Great. Worth, Paris, La Rivienne. So that was fun. I greatly enjoyed just flipping through this magazine. There is an absolute wealth of material in here, so I'm sure I'll return to it at a later date, but I hope you enjoyed going through the September 1985 issue of Vogue with me. Until next time.